Hello, my name's Julian Edgar and I'm the author of the book that you can see in front of you, Setting Up a Home Car Workshop. What I want to do in today's video is look at what I think are the best ramps you can make for your home workshop. And the inspiration for my ramps came from these ones called the MR1 ramps, which I thought was a really smart idea. Let's have a look at this other person's ramps first. There's two ramps that are normally inclined, so this edge here and this edge here normally sits on the ground, so you simply drive up the ramps, then you put a jacking bar across underneath the ramps. The ramps can pivot on these front stands. You jack the rear of them up and put axle stands under them. So they're compact because you don't need a long stretch of ramp before you get to the incline bit. They cover the full length of the car, which means you can work underneath the car from back to front, and they're relatively compact. Now, what I didn't like about them, well, I think they're probably going to be too heavy for one person to work with by themselves. If you have a look, this edge and this edge is made from steel angle, and this is made from solid steel sheet. And while I think they could probably be handled by two people when you want to store them, I think one person would really struggle to be able to lift what I would consider to be a fairly heavy weight. The other thing I didn't like, or I thought could be a lot better, is there's no front stand on which you could put, say, wheel alignment turntables or something like that. And it seemed to me that both of those things could be achieved. It could be a lot lighter, and you could have front stands that you could put wheel alignment turntables on, drive right onto the front stand. So I decided to, using this one as my model, or this one as my inspiration, I decided to build my own ramp. Now, here they are in their finished form, with a 2.5 tons, I think, the Volkswagen Transporter sitting on them. And a few things I want you to take note of. Firstly, note how the front stands are cubes, highly triangulated cubes, and the front wheels go right onto those stands. So you can have wheel alignment turntables on them if you wish. It's obviously very sturdy as well at the front. Have a look at the back. You can see that, as with the MR1 ramps, I've jacked them up and I've used two axle stands under each. You could probably get away with one axle stand. But if we have a look at, firstly, the front cubes, you can see they're made of square tube. You can also see there are some funny holes here, which I'll get to in a minute, on each side. And you can also see that they've got a checker plate top. Now, these you can make as high as you want, within limits, of course, and these are easily handled by one person. Easily carry one of these around, or do one at a time to put them away. Now, here's the tricky bit, I think. So here the ramps are inclined. They haven't been jacked up yet. And notice how I've got little stands that hold the ramps from underneath. Now, if we look at those a little bit more closely, so these are little stands that fit under the ramps when the ramps are inclined. Why is that so important? Well, the ramps don't have to take the full weight of the car over their full length. They only have to take the weight of the car over the spans between these supports. And that means you can make these ramps far lighter than they would otherwise be, because they don't have to be nearly as strong as if those stands weren't there. Now we'll go back to this. There are those stands. Those stands you always put into place when you're driving up on the ramps, but once the car's up on the ramps, you can basically take those stands away. Now over here we have the jacking beam. Let's have a look at the jacking beam in a bit more detail. Here it is before I'd finished painting and putting plywood on top of the ramps. You can see it's heavily gusseted, both externally there and also internally there. This fits under the ramps, as you can see here. You just slide your trolley jack underneath this central part, jack up the back of the ramps. They lift off those in-between supports, and you put the axle stands underneath the back of the ramps, as you can see again here. Now, you can see that once the ramps have been jacked up at the back, you put the axle stands directly under the rear wheels. So this length of ramp is taking basically no load at all. the rear wheels being supported by the axle stands underneath, and the front wheels being supported by those cubes, those constructed cubes. So you can take away those little supports that we saw there a moment ago when we were driving up the incline ramps. Why is that important? It means it's all clear free space. So if you're on a creeper, you can slide out from underneath at the side, you can slide out the back, you can slide out the front. There's not things that you're running into all of the time. Now, those little holes. I was just a bit worried that when the ramps were inclined and I was driving up on them, if there were just pivot points here, as you can see there are at the moment, you could hit this front thing and this might all overturn forwards and drag the whole assembly forward and crash to the ground. So I've got a pin that goes through holes there. That's the hinge, if you like, but you can see there's a hole there, and this pin here gets pushed through that hole and then into an adjoining hole, a corresponding hole in the ramp itself. So that locks the system together when the ramps are inclined, and then when you want to jack the back up, you pull out the pin, as I've done there. It's still obviously all supported by the bottom pin. You back the jack the back up, and then when it is horizontal, then you can put the pin in this other hole, and that holds it all locked together with the ramps horizontal. Now you might think of that as overkill, but I just didn't like the idea of bumping into this front support and the whole thing overturning forwards. So here it is with the axle ramps, the ramps horizontal, and there we have the two pins that lock the system together with it in that form. So even again, if you were to get the back of the car and push mightily forward, nothing can overturn. This can't overturn. The whole system would have to slide forward. The book's called Setting Up a Home Car Workshop. I cover the construction of the ramps in that book. I also cover workshop layout. I cover the best tools you should have, hand tools, fixed tools, power tools. I have a chapter on welding. If you like working on your car in your own home car workshop, I recommend this book to you. Thank you.